All right, so the most important part of this design will be the arch on the top that'll match the handrail arch. So I've got two pieces of rebar, and I'm going to put a screw in the middle post on both sides and just let it hang. That's all I did with the other rebar. I just let it hang, and that'll give me the arch for the top that'll end up screeching. And from there I can use the flashing that I just repaired for the bottom brace. And I think once I get it all put together, I don't have the concrete for it today, but I can run and go get concrete, and then tomorrow mix it all, pour it, and maybe be done. But the first thing, let me get that rebar up so you can visualize it. All right, you can sort of see the natural arch of the top of the bridge that I'm going to be pouring. Let me go ahead and chop off the piece of rebar there, anchor both ends with, we'll just use some of the pumice stone, and then I'll put screws in there, and I'll put boards along the top so I can screech it. So then it'll be level with the other side, and I can screech across both sides and get that concrete cap poured just right. Pretty excited. Well, I hope you could see what I'm doing here. This rebar will be the top of where the concrete is going to be. And the davinci bridge substructure is going to be supporting concrete. Now, my daughter and I both stood on this today, and I'm a 240-pound man, and she's a athletic gal. So we were over 400 pounds, and it didn't deflect that much. So the way I'm going to design this is that the supports will go before the beams first and then overcoat it. So what I'm doing is I'm just making the arch for the bridge so that it has a real nice, delicate feeling look on it. And that's how the roof's going to be just this way. So this is an analog for the roof. So, and I will be using rebar in the roof as well. So very pleased with this design. I'm building it just in flight. I'm not doing anything real fancy. So then what I do is I take and I just put a level between the two pieces of rebar, and I adjust the screw heads up and down until it's level across. I want the concrete load to be level. And so I'll be filling in the gaps in the logs with pumice stone. All right, well, you can get the vibe if you can see the rebar arc there on both sides. I put a level across it. So then I'll fill up the weirdnesses with lava stone so it's not a lot of concrete on one side weighting it down. It'll even out the concrete, and then I'll screech coat on top of that, and that'll look pretty good, won't it? I like it. I might have to chainsaw down some of those logs, you know, yada yada. We'll see. So I'm going to make the bridge abutment now, and I'm going to pour concrete along the edges. So I'm going to take that ugly duckling, weird looking cedar that's a different size, different dimensions, and square it all up using concrete runners along the side that tie in the post, which will make that look really good. And then the top will have the arch, so your eye will follow that. So I found this gutter that's a really big gutter, but it's been damaged. But what I'm going to do is beat it back into shape with my peen hammer and just get it square again. And then I'm hoping that I could just hang this off of the bridge. I'll have to cut it in half, and then I'll pour concrete right inside of this gutter. So let me go ahead and beat it into shape and make sure I can get that done first. It's tin on Craigslist for free. I'm going to guess that the tin shack had been hit by a storm, or but you know, and then people ran it over, and I pulled a lot of this tin out of the ground. I don't know what these things are that I'm repairing. They look like soffit covers maybe, or something. I don't know. If somebody knows what they are, they could put them. But the thing about working metal is every time you strike it, it deforms like putty. So if you think about metal as being a putty, you can slowly and patiently work the worst back into shape. I mean, these were absolutely crushed and twisted. There's 3 of them in total. This is the second one. One of them I don't repair today. I might eventually. But taking the stress out of it first and folded it in place, and then, you know, just slowly getting these back where I can use them as troughs. So I will fill these with concrete and they'll become concrete beams. So I'm making concrete beams for nothing, no dollars. Well, that wasn't too bad of a struggle. So I saved that. I guess it's some kind of a soffit or something, but you can see how it'll be a concrete beam mold now. And to be honest, I don't care if it comes out a little bit. Now, I'm gonna have to cut it to make it fit. I'm gonna have to put on my waders to go underwater, but pretty happy. Anytime you can work on tin and get it into shape after it's been smashed and without cutting yourself and bleeding to death, you're doing mighty good. All right, so we're gonna do that concrete bar, right through here. And I'm not quite sure how I'll get it all done, but let's start with some dimensions. More or less, all 54. So let's cut them at 54, and I won't put any angles on them. I'll cut them at 90, because where they go up onto the post, then I'll have places to screw. So that's my idea. Let's try one and see how it fits. All right, let's see how that fits on there. Right off the reel, I see I'm going to have to do some chainsawing and get some of the longer pieces short, so that'll fit up in there. So that'll be what I'm going to do. Well, let's try to get one angle of one bridge, one side done, and then I could think of how to do the other ones, right? I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to cut these like this, so this could overlap the front of the post, and that's what I'm going to do. So this can overlap, and I can screw screws into the front of this. So let me cut that out by a 1/4 inch or something. Behind me is the idea. So what you're seeing, of course, is the DaVinci Bridge that I made with just coyote fence. Now this is the design that I was always planning to do. Coyote fence with lava stone, with fence or rebar with concrete on top of it. The concrete I was going to use was a styrofoam concrete. This is turning out so well, I might pour real concrete so that it's a forever bridge, because that looks pretty darn good. So I found what I'm going to call flashing, and I saved those from a junk pile from a scrap yard. And they're going to fill up with concrete and save me. I don't think I could have built the frames that I needed that would have looked that nice. Now, on top of that, it has the little notch where I can put in the picket fence that I have. I have picket fence, and I'll cut those into the arch to match the arch. You can hardly see the rebar there, but there's rebar arch there. So that bridge will be perfectly round with a triangular bottom. I don't know. I think that maybe I don't want to make an experimental of it. Maybe I want to pour the concrete and make it a nice bridge. I'm going to think about it tonight. It took me a lot of fussing because of the odd, I built with cedar, round cedar. If you built with dimensional lumber, this would be so much easier. And I might make a design and sell designs, right, that would include how to do this with dimensional lumber. But I did it out of cedar because my roof's going to be cedar. So I'm still going to debate tonight whether or not I'm going to use, what I'm thinking is maybe just one square of the styrofoam concrete in the bridge that I could always fill and patch later if I needed to chisel it out, just one square. And I could put that in with like a cooler. I could get an igloo, styrofoam cooler and stick a cooler in and pour around it and then lift the cooler out and then fill the cooler with the styrofoam just to see how it holds up. And that'd be kind of cool. And if I ever needed then that it all broke up and fell apart, I would just take that and chisel it out and then, cobblestone or something. That would be really neat. But anyway, that looks pretty good. I only had time to get one. I've got to trim all of the non-dimensional cedar logs to size. I got to shave them. I've got to do a lot of work. I have to fiddle with each one of these. Now that's on me because I built this thing out of cedar. But I'm going to save $40,000 by using my own cedar that I've harvested and coyote fence and not plywood and all of that for my roof. I just need to make sure that this is a strong idea. And I'm pretty pleased. So, the art, all of this came together just like I had envisioned. I engineered it as I went. I'm going to pull that metal out of there for the night so that if a storm comes up, it doesn't blow it somewhere. And then I'll cut all the rest tomorrow and get all of the reinforcement on it and get it ready. There's storms coming and changes of weather, and I don't know, it might catch me again. Really, I should have worked on this all day, but I went and got Varro, and he and I have been walking about. I've got hog problems again, so I went and got my wolf so that he could, mark the thing, and I'll leave him out tonight to chase them hogs off. And they stay gone a little bit, but man, they're tearing up that field so bad. So anyway, I spent the day, I don't know, not relaxing, but not doing this. All right, I think this is enough for a little video. You get the idea. I'm working on the design. The other half of the tin will be right there. Then I'll have the arch will be cut out with a jigsaw to match each cedar picket. They'll all be screwed together, and then I'll pour concrete all at once. I think this will look really good. So, and I like my cooler idea and little igloo cooler. I've seen a couple of them back here, so I think I have them already. Anyway, I'll stick that down in, and one little piece of styrofoam concrete. We'll see how it holds up to foot traffic. Like, subscribe, follow me along. Steve, 1,000 Year Homes. Bye.